On there?
Oh, gosh.
Once every 3 years?
So well, I just couldn't. Can you imagine?
No.
Well done to him and the team for looking after him. Thank you.
Now, more than 10 million people in the UK live with migraines. They are associated with painful headaches. They can also cause nausea, dizziness, sensitivity to light, sound and smells.
Treatment for migraines is going to be discussed in Parliament today, and it'll be the first time that's happened since 1960. And those living with the condition say much more needs to be done to raise awareness of its impact on physical and mental health, as Tim Muffetts reports. Loads of you have been in touch this morning to share your own experiences and the impact migraines have on your lives.
Yeah, we've had this from Nathan in Hebden Bridge, who says he suffered with migraines for more than 30 years. It's not just headache, visual disturbances, nausea, muscle pain, balance and speech can be affected too.
Another viewer has suffered from a migraine for more than 50 years. Says people just don't realise how much daily life is taken over by what some people think to be just a headache, quotes.
Yeah, another viewer said, I've had to go on probation at work because of sickness. It's also had an impact on my mental health. Migraine sufferers need more help.
Catherine paints a vivid picture. She says, I just can't see when I have a migraine. I go numb in my face. I feel sick. Sometimes it can go on for days. People think you should just get on with it. They think it's just a headache. I wish it's a whole body experience.
Thank you so much for sharing your stories this morning. Really important story to be able to talk about.
Yeah, and they'll talk about it in Parliament today. We're back, breakfast at 6 tomorrow.
Now it's time for
That new artwork by Banksy that we've been talking...
At 16 minutes past 9, let's go to Carol. Interviewing, dangling, all at once. What a hero. And thank you to the two Chris's and to Pete for keeping our John safe.
Hang around, headlines coming up. Morning, it's 9 o'clock. Welcome to breakfast with Sally Nugent and John Kay.
Our headlines for you today. What an incredible man.
And what a story. It's one of those stories that sometimes we forget, but yeah, what a moment that was. The time now, 8:43.
Here's Carol with this morning's weather for us.
What are you planning to do today?
Yeah.
Nothing quite like that. 8:45.
Now, there is always, isn't there, a push for more people to give blood. But did you know that your pets can donate as well?
Yeah, this morning, one charity is urging dog owners to check if their four-legged friends are eligible because their donation could apparently save the life of another animal. And Joe Kent has been to meet one dog who's done exactly that. Otto, good work.
Not sure they were very friendly right at the end of that. But...
Not terribly appreciative.
Maybe just excited to see each other.
It's 8:50.
Now, today is the first day of spring. That means it's time for the annual Spring Clean, which is well underway at the London Eye.
Yeah, a lot of work high up goes into maintaining that huge Ferris wheel. Our reporter John Maguire is going to be joining in the annual maintenance for us live in a moment. But this is how it all came about.
Then it is exactly 8:30, and in just a few minutes' time, we will be live.
10 years ago.
Go on.
I had to close my eyes and go down on my hands and knees because I couldn't bear it.
You had to stay on the floor.
Yeah, so the idea of dangling is it's horrific. But John he's up for anything, John.
Do keep watching. That's coming up before 9 o'clock this morning.
Live dangling here on BBC Breakfast. It's 8:31. Let's get the news, the travel and weather from our...
Now, a bill which aims to tackle smoking and vaping among young people is being introduced in Parliament today. Now, it is 50 years since an armed man tried to kidnap Princess Anne as she was travelling to Buckingham Palace in her royal car. Ian Ball had planned to abduct the young princess and hold her to ransom.
But his attempt was thwarted by a number of people, including her police bodyguard. And Inspector Jim Beaton, who was shot 3 times during that attack, 5 decades later, he's reflecting on that day. It's 16 minutes past 8, and if you think you had a rubbish day yesterday, it could have been worse. You could be Amari, the 6-month-old Jack Russell in Gateshead, who ended up in a rather compromising position.
Should we have a look?
Yeah. Done. And those firefighters to the rescue.
Amari, stay inside. Don't go out being naughty.
We've had lots of dogs and cats this morning, haven't we?
Yes.
Is it raining cats and dogs? Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, the 20th of March. And while we've been on air this morning, there has been a fall in the rate of inflation. It dropped to 3.4% in the year to February. That's the lowest it's been for more than 2 years. And it's down from 4% in January. But that is still above the Bank of England's target rate, which is 7 on Wednesday. Breakfast today with Sally and John.
Now, 15 synthetic opioids will be banned in England and Wales from today as a BBC investigation reveals that government data might be underestimating the spread of the drugs, which are known as nitazines.
Yeah, the Department of Health recorded just 19 non-fatal overdoses linked to the drugs in the second half of last year, but there have been more than 100 deaths since last summer. Our Midlands correspondent Navtej Johal has spoken to one man who nearly died from an accidental overdose. John's going to be joining us to talk about the sport in a second. We're talking about the Olympics, but we're not necessarily talking about the positives in the sport because there's a lot of politics involved as well. Right, John?
Yeah. Now, the Paracycling Track World Championships kicks off today in Rio de Janeiro, and for many athletes, it's their final chance to qualify for the Paralympics.
And hoping to add to their already impressive medal haul will be golden couple Laura and Neil Fackie, who, as well as defending their Paralympic titles, are also having to balance competing and parenting, as Sally Hurst has been finding out.
Beautiful blue sky in that film.
Indeed.
Weather feels like it might be getting a little bit warmer. The daffodils are out for many of us, and today is the first day officially of spring. That also means it's time for a reset and perhaps a little bit of tidying up.
Bit of freshening up.
Yes.
Yeah, lots of work goes into maintaining the fourth biggest Ferris wheel in the world, the London Eye.
It's going to be totally fine. Yeah. He's just kidding, I think.
Right, it's 6:57. Let's get the news, travel and weather from our teams around the UK. We'll see you and John shortly.